All right. Looks like we are live and excellent streaming, even though I seem frozen to myself on the screen. So we'll just see how that looks. I wonder if I do a refresh, what would happen? I'm going to try. All right. Now I'm not frozen. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Let us get started here. Just, okay. Starting live streams. All right. Hello, everyone. Lori Swanson here, CEO and founder of Inspire Tech and the creator of Career Alchemy Academy, which I am happy to say we opened our doors. We had our kickoff call this week, and people are joining. I've had more people are joining because you can join anytime. So the recording of the kickoff call is inside of the Academy. You have access to that. And eventually, you will have access to all of the recordings, past recordings for, I'm thinking at least 6 months I'll keep in there. And so you'll never miss a thing. You can join at any point and have access to all the wonderful things that are happening with inside the Academy. But I highly encourage you to join now because you can become a founding alchemist, and that will eventually go away. And you get the lowest price that I'll ever offer will be as a founding alchemist. So do that, jump on, learn more about it, follow the QR code. Now, why am I here? I'm here every week, almost always live, to talk about some sort of topic that, that's come up in my travels as a coach and, as a woman living in today's society. And the topic, which is not new, but still prevalent, is people pleasing. So I want to tell a little story, and just under the category of TMI, this is a true story that just happened to me, and slightly embarrassing, but I decided to share it because I think people can relate to this and can see the connection to people pleasing. So let's just get started, right? Shall we? All right. So here's what was happening. I want to say the weekend of October 18th, I flew to Toronto to go to a conference with two of my favorite authors and people, Martha Beck, who I actually am a certified Wayfinder coach through Martha Beck's program, and also Elizabeth Gilbert. You will know Elizabeth probably from Eat, Pray, Love, or one of my all-time favorite books. It's in my top 5 list, which is Signature of All Things that she wrote. And she's got many other published novels and memoir. And then, of course, Martha Beck, PhD from Harvard, who's known as America's first life coach, wrote for the Oprah magazine from its inception till its completion, when they had a monthly published magazine. She also certifies coaches and a speaker, and someone I traveled to Africa with. I consider her one of my spiritual mentors, as is Elizabeth Gilbert. So I could not wait to get to Toronto and be part of their weekend workshop called All the Magic. All the Magic. So it was the best. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about what happened before I even got there. So flying out of O'Hare to Toronto, hour, 10-minute flight, short, right? On the flight, about halfway through, maybe 30 minutes before landing, I'm like, oh my God, I've got to go to the bathroom. I've got to go to the bathroom really bad. And I almost always sit in a window seat. My favorite row is 8 because I always think about the infinity sign, and I turn the 8 on its side and it reminds me of infinity. And that has a special meaning between my husband and I. And it's just one of my all-time favorite symbols. And so I try to sit in row 8, and generally they're in either window on either side of the aisle. And so I was there in beloved 8F, and more than halfway through the flight realized that I had really had to go to the bathroom. And so I sat there and I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're 30 minutes tops from landing. That's not that long. And generally I'm someone who, you know, I don't know, I can just hold it for a while. So I'm like, no big deal, right? And then a few more minutes pass and I'm like, oh my God, I'm really uncomfortable. But I'm looking at the two people who are sitting in the middle and the aisle seats. And I'm thinking, oh, I'd hate to make them get up this close to landing. I have to interrupt them. It's a girlfriend, boyfriend, or husband. I think I didn't get the husband wife vibe from them. I definitely got couple vibe, right? Younger, and they were involved in something. They had their earphones in and they were looking at something. I thought, oh my gosh, I'd have to interrupt them. Then they stand up. Then I go. Then I have to come back and get them stand up again. And I just decided not to do that, right? I thought I'll just make it to the airport and go right to the bathroom. So we land, and I'm like, it's not comfortable, but it's okay. And the pilot gets on and he said, for whatever reasons, they've put us in the furthest gate, which means it'll be 15 to 20 minutes for us to taxi and get there. And I thought, holy crap. Okay, just breathe, Lori. So, and now we're on the ground. So you're not supposed to use the bathrooms. At least that was what I had been told at one point. I didn't even question it. I just thought, oh, I remember being told that once we're taxiing, we have to wait to the gate to use the bathrooms. And so, in my head, I'm thinking I probably could really, insist, but I'm fine. I'll make it. So wait to the gate, finally get to the gate, get off, and I'm not talking, if you've ever been to O'Hare and been in like C31, which is the furthest gate at O'Hare, O'Hare's got nothing on Toronto. First of all, it was like walking through just a very narrow hallway, and it would cross back on itself, and you'd be going and back and forth. And it was a hallway. There were no doors. There were no bathrooms, was the main point. So I walked probably 15 minutes. And so at this point, I can barely, I'm sort of, kind of leaning over, thinking to myself, oh my God, my bladder's just going to let loose, right? And so finally we get to border control, and I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm at border. Are they going to make me go through border control too? And I asked them, and I'm like, where's the closest bathroom? And they show me, and I'm going into border control to get to this bathroom. And they're like, you got to go through border control. I'm like, no, I got to go to the bathroom. So, long story short, I piddled my pants just a bit. So went into the bathroom, changed into, thank God I carried on, right? Changed into a new pair of pants and undies, and went to border control, got my Uber, got to my hotel. And it was just it was just a thing at that point. It was just sort of like, an experience that I had that I'm like, I will not do that again, Well, then the next day we get to the event. I kind of just think of this as, in the rear view. Except I joked with my husband, right? To tell him what I did. So we get to, we're in Toronto, and we're at the John Bassett Theater. It's just beautiful. We're right by the Lake Ontario, and it's just hustling and bustling. And there was, there was a Maple Leafs game. My second favorite hockey team after the Blackhawks is the Maple Leafs. I was very tempted to go. And all kinds, there was a marathon coming up. I mean, just the city was happening, and I just love that city. So and the weather was beautiful. That's Friday, right? And then Saturday, we've got the workshop all day, and we get to the workshop, and within the first hour of the seminar, Elizabeth Gilbert is telling her story. So if you've read Eat, Pray, Love, you know a little bit about where she had been married, and it was, it was crushing her soul. And eventually she got out of the marriage. She had made a commitment to have kids by 30, and they were going to, the suburban home and all of this. And as 30 was approaching, she could just feel herself, she didn't, maybe putting some basic ideas in her mind right now and through my mouth, but just again that soul crushing spirit, and thinking, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, this is what's supposed to make me happy, right? The thing we do, especially as women, because we've been told our whole lives for generations what to wear, how to think, that you need to ask for permission to buy something. You couldn't even get credit cards in your name, not that long ago. I mean, all of these ways in which women were put into, a box and told that this is, be happy, you're getting provided for, all those things. And then of course, then we're given the opportunity to pursue careers. And then of course we still have to continue to uphold the patriarchal vision of what we can be. And oh yeah, you can work too. Okay, don't let me, I've gone down a little rabbit hole there. So in any case, all of these things were contributing to this, her spirit being crushed. And so she said, so she's telling this story, and she ends the story, kind of like her journey to Eat, Pray, Love, and then what happened after that, and then led to, I think she was talking about the fact that she has now completely shaved her head and the freedom that brought her. And these, what, as one of the decisions that women can make, like what could you do to feel like freedom, right? Shaving her head. I just love that idea of thinking to myself, what could I do that would feel like me authentically expressing myself? And when I authentically express myself, I feel free. And so she tells a story, and she says, the moral of this story is, don't get married just because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And that hit me like a lead balloon. I was thinking she could have easily have said, don't piddle your pants just because you don't want to inconvenience the people in the seats next to you, right? And I think, all of you are probably saying, well, of course I wouldn't do that, except there are many, many ways that we don't inconvenience people, that we have been taught to be agreeable, polite, put other people's needs ahead of our own since early childhood. And it becomes so a part of the thinking that we don't even know to question a lot of these things. And I'm not saying it hasn't changed, and it has changed, and we have many, bosses, women out there who are changing culture. And I like to think I'm one of them until something like this happens. And I'm like, I'm not that far away from that cultural teaching the student of be a people pleaser, be polite, don't rock the boat, all of those people pleasing tendencies, it just was there in that moment on the plane. It's where we overcommit and feel then like we're letting everyone down, ourselves to begin with. It's where burnout comes from. It's where imposter syndrome comes from. We don't know what we really like, what we really want to do, or what makes us happy. Then we just do when we really don't get clear about all those things, then we just keep doing kind of what's expected. And we become disconnected from that authentic, true nature part of ourselves. And, we piddle our pants because we don't want to inconvenience two strangers. I'm like flabbergasted at myself. And at the same time, thank you for the lesson. And the fact is, I didn't even fully get what had happened until Elizabeth Gilbert said, don't just marry someone because you don't want to, hurt their feelings, right? So all of this to say that, I guess it's one of the things that I think is beautiful about Career Alchemy Academy and the women that are gathering there, the current members that we have and the members that are coming, is that I can see all of us sort of questioning how we're thinking, how we're acting, what we're believing, because it's been so ingrained, and we can start to shine a spotlight on that, on some of that stuff, instead of pretending that everything's a-okay with carrying the invisible workload. We stand up for ourselves, we ask for help, in fact we demand it, we share the load. We become the women we're born to be, living the way we're supposed to be meant to living, with the lives we're meant to be living, the careers we're meant to be, that impact that, again, I call our careers our form of service, that form of service that not only serves others, but serves ourselves without apology. So if they're, just like pay attention to the ways in which you're people pleasing, you're being overly polite, you're putting other people's needs against your own, and where you're super uncomfortable, but not willing to hurt other people's feelings. Like saying no to going to a birthday party because you just don't want to. Maybe there's people there that you just don't want to hang around with, right? And that they drain your energy. It's okay to say no, even if you think, and so if you feel like if you find yourself saying, here's a tip, if you find yourself saying, well, I really should go to that is a statement of, I'm out of authenticity, just slightly, out of authenticity here. I'm not telling my full truth and making decisions. And I'm not saying we don't do things that sometimes we just don't want to do, but do it deliberately, making a decision, and then from there, then it doesn't become we've made the decision, so it's an empowering decision, instead of one that we're going along with just because we're expected to. So I have this great shirt. I don't know if you ever heard of the book Half the Sky. It was a wonderful book, came out several years ago. And I got a shirt that says, women hold up half the sky. And I keep saying to myself, that on the other side of it, I'm going to put, and that's just the sky you're seeing. The other half's invisible, and we're holding that one up too, right? So, that invisible workload and how that's draining us and creating this burnout and creating this exhaustion and creating this sort of low-level anxiety, low-level depression, low-level about life, that can, people, when you make a commitment to no longer please others, but first please yourself, there's freedom, there's power. So that's my piddle my pants story. And hopefully, you get a chuckle out of it, but also that it can help you look into these areas in your life where you've been piddling your pants in different ways because you've been people pleasing. So no more of that. That's the LinkedIn Live for today. I look forward to seeing you next week, most likely at this time. Um, and and if it changes, you'll get a message for those of you who have signed up for my weekly blog, Inspirations. You can do that on our website, inspiretech.com. You can go to Career Alchemy Academy, and that'll get you to all of the wonderful things that we do, from private coaching to the weekly blog. And come in and join Career Alchemy Academy, $147 a month, or get 6 months and get a month free, get 12 months, get 2 months free, be part of this growing community. And, let's stop piddling our pants. Talk to you soon.